Good evening and welcome to the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. My name is Nick. Call sign is KN6DAL. We appreciate everybody coming out tonight, and we definitely want to take a second and just thank all of the supporters and owners of the repeaters out there. We've got the W6VVR repeater and the Vacaville Radio Club. We also got the FreeSTAR Network and the use of their repeaters and digital connections, the owners and operators of the Mountain West system, and a big thanks to Mike WG5EEK, Greg KN6KIE, and Brian KK6BXP for all of their continued networking efforts. And if there's any priority traffic throughout the course of the anti-net, you can clear the frequency by saying break in your call sign, and we'll just take a second and see if there's any priority or emergency traffic now. Come on in if you have any. All right, didn't hear anything there, so that's always a good thing. The 2 Meter Crew is not an actual club. We are just a group of hams which are learning and enjoying all things ham related. There's no dues or fees to be a 2 Meter Crew member. For more information, you can visit us at 2metercrew.net on our website, and you can also join our Discord group. There's links in the YouTube description for both of those if you want to check that out. Tonight is an open net. Everybody's welcome to join. There's multiple different connections that you can join through. We're linked every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 3 a.m. UTC on the W6VVR repeater. We also have Echolink, which is W6VVR-R. Allstar nodes 51094 and 512342 are connected. DMR talk group 3174-117, YSF reflector 50462, FreeSTAR Allstar links are 2195 and 53377, and Mountain West P25 and DMR talk groups are 31062. And if you can't get in through any digital or analog connections, you can always join our Zoom link, which we'll post in the description on YouTube here. We'll keep the waiting room open on that, and once we get through most of the check-ins, we'll open that up, and anybody who wants to jump in and say hi is welcome to do so.
You got waiting room enabled, right?
I don't know.
Check it, and I'll post the link.
I think it does.
It's ready. All right, and last but not least, the Anti-Net is also being live streamed right here on YouTube at Northwest Ham Shack. Please like and subscribe, and you can get notifications on when we go live. Clear my throat. So let's see who we got out there tonight. Is there anybody who's never checked in with the 2 Meter Crew before, or any new operators who maybe just got their call sign? Maybe you upgraded your call sign recently. Any new stations, come on in and say hi. Time is now. Bring it on in.
N1UKJ.
M1UKJ.
All right, I copied call sign N1UKJ. How are you tonight?
I'm doing very well. I'm in the northernmost part of New York State talking to you through a Canadian repeater, DMR. And when you get a chance, I would like you to repeat the DMR talk groups for this net when possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I can tell you those right now. We've actually got 2 DMR links up. One is connected to Mountain West. That's their talk group is 31062. And then I have a DMR talk group connected, which is 3174-117. Both of those should be active and working right now. And there may be many other talk groups that are connected that we just aren't particularly sure, because there's a lot of different connections that are linked that we're not necessarily aware of because we can't see it. But your audio sounds really, really good tonight. I would have guessed that you were coming in digitally, but it sounds very clear, and there's no breakup or anything. I didn't catch your name. My name is Nick, and my call sign's KN6DAL, and I appreciate you checking in with us tonight. If you want to come back with your name and tell us a little bit about ham radio's going for you.
Roger, Nick. The handle is Delta Alpha November, and I am coming to you through a Canadian Brandmeister repeater. And I'm in the northeasternmost part of the state of New York, visiting from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Over.
Well, that's awesome. I'm happy you were able to make a connection with us tonight, Dan, and I appreciate you checking in. We meet every Wednesday night at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and that's 3 a.m. UTC. So you're always welcome to jump in and say hi. I appreciate you you coming in tonight. Who else have we got out there? What is it? All right, KN6DAL. I'm going to turn it over to Servando because I have to know. He's dying to tell us a little bit more about his setup that he's got going on right now. So K6SRV, take it away.
K6SRV, Vondo here, and so it must have been a little distracting now that I think about it, but I was just smelling brand new LMR 400. Yeah, and pretty excited about this. I'm setting up a new antenna at the house, and I kind of wanted something a little bit better than the RG58 or 8G ABC or whatever I was using to feed it before. There's so many numbers. Why can't they just go like 1, 2 through 10 and like 1 being the best? But yeah, antennas. And what else do I have going on? I'm building another 49-to-1 Balun or transformer. I built my first one. It was a kit from KM4 ACK, and I loved it so much. I just wish it was rated for more power, so I got more materials for one that was rated for 200 watts. So that's kind of what I'm working on. Yeah, it makes me feel like I'm really getting this ham thing down until I like burn something up, and then I just get discouraged again. Back to you, Nick.
All right, thanks, Servando. This is Nick, KN6DAL. I'm going to put Connor on the spot. If you're listening, Connor, if you could you look up and see if you could post a link to some differences on different types of coax? There's a lot of really great resources out there to find out information on like different types, because it's funny when you say it, Servando, but the reality is there is a ton of information out there, right? And there's a ton of different 50 ohm coax that you can use. And where do you start, right? For the person that is like literally just, they want to just get something set up to go, like what do you use? What do you invest your money in? And there's a lot of resources out there. I'll see if we can post a couple in the comments throughout the night that just kind of give people an idea, maybe point you in the right direction of what you're looking for. But if you don't know LMR 400, the authentic and the remake versions are both a really, really good low loss coax to use, and it's pretty safe for any setup. So yeah, I appreciate you coming in with that, Servando. Let's see who else we got out there. Any other stations? Any stations want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net? Come on in now.
CFR.
I think that was Bert.
That was Bert.
Hey Bert, how's it going tonight? Are you on your drive home?
I'm doing good. Yeah, I'm on my way home. Left the Costco gas station, so I just picked up some gas and just on my way home. Probably about another block or so. So I'll be on soon after I eat a little dinner, and then I'll get on.
I can't resist. How much is gas these days?
It was $4.49 a gallon for premium.
Yeah, that's about where we're at too. All right, well, hopefully we catch you on Zoom here later if you make it back in time. But drive safe and enjoy the anti-net. Who else we got out there? Any check-ins? Come on in now. All right, KN6DAL here with the 2-meter crew anti-net. We got Aaron here, W6AEF. I haven't heard from you in a while. You want to take a second, check in, and give us an update on your super busy life?
Yeah, thanks, Nick. W6AEF. Man, this anti-net's getting a little loosey-goosey. No rules, check-ins. Do we have to talk phonetically? I mean, I'm just kidding. Good to see you all smiling faces out here in Radio Land, YouTube Land. Nick, you'll have to cue me up when we need to reset. But just life and work. I spent the last 2 months getting my Type 2 certification for search and rescue, which has been a lot of time and fun stuff. But I do have an interesting story to share. The first time it has happened to me, and I'm getting pinged that I got to move. So apologize for the little home tour here. I'm loud, according to my wife. Nick, I'm gonna let it drop and I'll come back here in a sec. All right. So I was sitting in my garage / shack / office, monitoring, doing some work, and I get a call on a local repeater I was monitoring. It was a guy hitting this repeater from the Sonora area. If you're familiar with, I think it's 109 here in Northern California, kind of toward Yosemite, Sonora Pass. And there was a hunter. He was stuck out in the snow, didn't have access to cell. One of the neighbors had their radio in through the repeater. I ended up picking up the priority traffic. To make a long story short, it was one of those things, Nick, you know, I remember your stories, and we've all probably had them. Relayed information to the guy's wife, his daughter, got the coordinates, the UTM coordinates, triangulated where he was, where to meet. He was way down a forest road in the middle of nowhere. But anyway, made the 2 connections, and guy ended up getting home. So it was my first experience doing that, and it felt pretty good to see that the emergency piece of it and the need to have the radio and how it all worked and connected was pretty fun. I'll let it drop there, Nick, and you can reset it. All right. Other than that, guys, just normal life stuff. According to Connor, K7CBL, you know, adulting, trying to be an adult, pay the bills, do the work. Haven't had a ton of time to play radio. I did get on FT8 the other day and made my first connection in Australia, which was fun. I know some of you don't think FT8 is real, some of you purists, but for me, it was fun. I have been messing around with my Pelican box, my 7100, working with my MacBook Pro, trying to get some of the Mac stuff set up, which is not all that intuitive. Most of the stuff for ham radio is geared towards Windows. And then also started messing around with my my Pi, Raspberry Pi. So other than that, man, it's good to see you all out there. Thanks for letting me check in. I'm going to have to bail out here and do some dad stuff, but always good to check in with the anti-net. W6AEF.
All right, Aaron, thanks for checking in. It's always great to have you out here, man. Even if you're popping in and out, you're always welcome. And as for anybody else out there watching, if you want to jump into the Zoom link, you're always welcome to join in that way, or any of our digital connections are live and ready to go. Let's see who else we got out there. Anybody want to check into the 2-meter crew anti-net? Come on in now.
My dog is possessed.
All right, I'll give a check-in. K7CBL. So I'm coming in on a new mode, air quotations mode. People on YouTube will see it. This is LTE crossed over to DMR on the Mountain West network. So it's no actual repeater needed or hotspot, as Servando's making it rain. There, I see you there. But yeah, I figured I would give the check-in since I don't think that we've had one. I don't think I had this device at any point. So, anyways, back to you, Nick. Please have a CBL countdown.
All right, Connor. So I'm pretty sure that you take the win for the most, the amount of ways that you can link into this system right now. So you can connect more ways than anybody else. So I currently have the ability to connect basically DMR, P25, anything other than analog, right? But now you throw LTE into the mix, and I think you're talking a completely different language to a lot of people. So now that you've opened up Pandora's box, we need you to explain just a little bit about what LTE is and how that works for us laymen's that don't quite understand it. So I'll pass it back to you, Connor. KN6DAL to K7CBL.
All right, K7CBL for ID. Thanks, Nick, for throwing me on the spot there. I'm coming in via LTE cellular, as in what your phone connects to. And the device that's in my hand is acting as like a push-to-talk. So a lot of people have seen Zello, which is a free app for a phone. There's some Chinese Android phones that are out there that are push-to-talk devices. This is very similar in a way, except it's run by Motorola and managed by Motorola. It's their own proprietary service. It's not free, I'll say that, but it is another mode, and it's on the Mountain West network, P25 Reflector 31062, as well as linked to the DMR side, which is Brandmeister Talker 31062. So we actually have three modes, so P25, DMR, and then LTE. So pretty much no matter where you're at in the world, you're able to get in. So not sure if that answered your question or what you wanted, Nick. Put me on the spot there. But, yeah, I will pass it back to you for any further questions. K7CBL.
All right, thanks, Connor. KN6DAL. And hey, you know, if you're going to throw out random acronyms that like 90% of the ham radio population doesn't understand, I'm going to ask you to iterate what's going on, right? But no, that was a good explanation. And, you know, for those of you that watch this now or later or come across this, there are so many different ways to access things, and so many different. I heard one person say it's a hobby of 1,000 hobbies. You know, we've got, and even just in tonight, we've got Servando talking about building balance. You know, we've got you know, search and rescue based stuff, and people using it for emergency communications. Connor doing different types of digital connections. I mean, there's just so many things. FT8, like all. Just think about the 20 minutes that we've been on the air, and all the different conversations that have taken place, and all the different things that you can do with ham radio. There's bound to be something that you have no idea about, and so that's kind of what it's all about, right? Is learning different things and like what's cool to you. There's things that we haven't talked about tonight, like satellite work and you know, CW operation and just HF operation in general, that kind of stuff. And then there's also things like building, you know, refurbishing equipment, you know, just doing your own kind of projects. And we happen to have a guy here who's always knee deep in a project, and that's Dan, N6ETR. So we're curious what you got behind your head, and then we want to know about your day. So tell us a little bit about it, Dan.
N6ETR, thanks, Nick. So what's behind me actually is a Heathkit VTVM. It's circa 1956. It's like your standard multimeter, except it doesn't measure current flow, and it operates with vacuum tubes. It's not solid state. And I use this a lot for repairing tube type equipment. The benefit to a VTVM is it has what you call a high impedance. It's a high impedance probe. So when you're testing a circuit while the circuit's live, you're not applying any kind of load to the circuit. So with a standard solid state multimeter, you can actually screw up the circuit that you're live testing. You can introduce electricity into it that shouldn't be there, and it can kind of nullify your test results. So that's why I use VTVMs, and that's just an example of one that I was refurbishing on the bench. In recent news, Servando Claus showed up in my front door while I was probably asleep still, and he brought me a special gift. It is a brand new DX Commander pole that I broke at field day. Do you want to drop real quick, Nick?
I mean, that was painful to watch when it happened.
That hurt,
but...
man. That hurt so bad.
Dude, that was so bad.
We
dude.
all were crying when we saw this thing. Is there anybody that's got access to that picture right now?
I know Servando does.
Yeah,
pull it up, Connor.
Find it and I'll post it. But sorry, take it away, Dan. KN6DAL Friday.
And 6ETR. This is Dan. Thanks, Nick. Yeah. So what happened is Callum provides a really excellent kit. I'm very happy with the performance of the antenna. I noticed in a lot of his videos, the antenna, effectively your guy ropes just provide enough tension to keep the butt of the mast situated against the ground. And the legs of the guy ropes are only like 3 feet by 3 feet. They're not very high up on the mast. And it was windy in Fairfield at field day. And I just said, well, that's how Callum does it. So I'm just going to turn my head. Well, sure enough, a plastic carabiner on the guy rope failed, and it went tumbling down into an adjacent fence and snapped. So, unfortunately, it was very unfortunate, but a lot of the other hams at field day were kind enough to let me borrow their equipment and stuff like that. And another one was kind enough to replace my mast for me. So I'll show up at winter field day ready to go in 6ETR.
All right, KN6DAL. Thanks for that, Dan. Yeah, I'll when we get off the radio, I'll see if I can pull up that set of pictures that Jason had, and we'll go through those a little bit because there's some good pictures of that fateful day. That was there was some tears dropped on that, man. Ooh. All right, well, let's see who else do we got out there. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Anybody want to check in? Come on in now. Did you buy that for him, Servando?
Yeah.
What a guy.
I looked at, dude, I was gonna get an antenna for myself, and then when I saw I was like, that's it? Like, you can get just the tube? And then, dude, I bought it, and it got. Oh. I heard KJ.
All right, I heard you come in. Can you try one more time with your call sign? Sorry.
N1UKJ.
Hey, Dan. How's it going? Not you, Dan. ETR. Different Dan.
To ask a DMR question.
Yeah, absolutely. Fire away. What do you got? Key up the cricket music.
Just got trolled.
N1UKJ from KN6DAL. Go ahead with your question.
you very much, Nick. I'm trying to text SMS on an Anytone 878 through a Brandmeister repeater to another 878 Anytone radio. And one of the sites that I was on said that in the CPS digital settings for the channel, you need to check mark SMS confirmation, and supposedly that will prevent the message from coming in multiples of 3, and I can elaborate on that if it doesn't make any sense. N1UKJ, back to net.
Well, so I don't understand if it's a question or if you were just providing a statement, but I do know what you're doing. I've done that, and I know Servando's done that, texting from radio to radio through Brandmeister, and I think Connor's probably done that as well. But I've never ran into a multiples of 3 being sent, so maybe you could elaborate a little bit on that.
N1UKJ for ID. I read somewhere on a website that if you check mark this box called SMS confirmation, that will prevent getting multiple copies of an SMS text. And that's exactly what's happening. I'm using 2 identical radios, 878 Anytones, and going through a Brandmeister repeater, and every time I text from one radio to the other, I get 3 copies every time I transmit a text message. Hope that clarifies. N1UKJ, back to net.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm not familiar with where that. I mean, there's a ton of different settings in the CPS software there, and I'm actually just kind of scrolling through it now, looking. But I've never run into that issue. Connor or Servando, have either of you ran into that issue where you got multiples of 3 text to you, and it was based on a setting in CPS?
I'll jump in.
Go ahead, Connor.
K7CBL for ID. And no, I've never had something like that happen. Honestly, I don't think it's a setting in CPS. I could be wrong, but I've dug through that CPS for that radio and have had pretty extensive reading sessions going through every setting on that radio. So I don't think it's a setting. There might be something wrong, but yeah, so that definitely needs to be, I would say, firmware upgrade the radio and go from there and start off with the fresh code plug, because that's not a stock feature. And for FYI, Nick, I sent you the picture in Discord DMs of Dan.
Okay.
So you should have that.
I'll bring that up. Yeah, in KN60AL, there is, under digital function in the optional settings menu, a SMS format dropdown. I'm not familiar with what each one does. My particular radio is set to M-SMS, so you might check that. And then also, if you jump into our Zoom chat after we shut down the radio portion of the Anti-Net, we'll still be on Zoom for a little while, and you're welcome to screen share with us, and we can see if we can figure out what's going on. So if that doesn't answer your question, you can also join our Discord, and there's a lot of people that have that radio, and a lot of us have at least some experience with that radio and that software that you're using, and we can dive into it in a little bit more detail. So for that information, if you go to Northwest Ham Shack on YouTube, we're live streaming right now, and in the description there's a link to join a Discord group. If you do that, there's a ton of people in there with a wealth of knowledge that we can direct message you and work through any of those challenges. So I hope that kind of points you in the right direction, Dan. I'll take it away, but I'll give you one chance on your final here. So back to you, Dan.
Hey, Nick, thank you very much. The setting I'm referring to is on the CPS software for Anytone. I'm not sure if other radios use similar formats or structures, so I apologize for my novice information. But basically, if you click on the channel, the specific channel to the repeater that you want to utilize, there's a section listed there as digital. On my CPS, it's in the upper right-hand area of the screen that opens, and down in the bottom of that digital panel, the check mark is SMS confirmation. I will try to get on to the Zoom chat. Thank you very much for the time, and when you KJ clear.
All right, thanks, Dan. And I want to pass it over to Aaron. You raise your hand.
Hey,
Thank you so
yes.
much.
Please, sir.
W6AEF, take it away, buddy.
Yeah. Hey, thanks. So, hey, real quick, guys, I'm going to have to bail in a second. But, one of the things I love about ham radio, especially this group of guys and gals, is kind of what happened with Servando and Dan. I mean, his DX commander imploded in plain sight into a million tiny particles. And it was hard to see and watch. But it's about like paying it forward. And, I guess I'm going to put it out there. And this is my shameless plug to get on Discord. Look me up, W6AEF. And I've got a signal link that I'm happy to donate and pay it forward. I don't want any coordinators. I don't want any FT8 contesters asking for this. So you're going to have to be on the honor system. So hit me up in the Discord, Aaron W6AEF, and I will happily pay it forward on a signal link. If your radio does not have a sound card and you want to get into the digital modes, hit me up, and it is yours. Thanks, Nick. W6AEF.
Awesome. Thanks, Aaron. KN6DAL here. We got Adam in the chat, K6ARK. How are you doing this weekend or this evening?
Well, I am doing well. I won't hold it too long because I'm in the car and I'm sure there's a bit of road noise here, but wanted to drop in and say hi, and I think that's really cool paying it forward. I agree wholeheartedly that that's a huge part of the ham culture, and that's something I always strive to do, and of course I've been the recipient of as well. So bravo for that. I'm sure someone will get some awesome use out of that. So back to you from K6ARK.
All right. Thanks for checking in, Adam. Appreciate having you on here. Let's see who else we got out there. Any other check-ins want to come in and say hi? We got a little bit of time left, so feel free to jump in and tell us who you are and where you're coming from. Any and all check-ins to the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Come on in now.
Alexa, turn off all lights.
All right, I heard a digital connection in there. If you want to key up and wait just a second and then give your call sign, I was barely able to make you out, but it might have just been a little bit of drop packet. So you want to try one more time? Come on back. All right, we'll give it one more shot. I didn't hear a call sign, but I did hear a key up that time. So one more try on the digital station. If you want to come back with your call sign, we'll see if we can get you in here.
Servando. Servando, did you catch the call on that one?
It was.
All right,
Gotcha.
KN6DAL, no copy on the station, so let's move on. Any and if station, if you can hear us, if you want to just keep trying, just break in anytime you want. KN6DAL, any other stations, come on in now. What is with this holding your hand up stuff? Just start talking.
Yeah, come on,
Oh, my
Servando.
bad, dude. I didn't know. Am I on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, K6 SRV. I was holding my hand. I'm sorry. One thing, like, okay, so like this guy that was trying to come in, he's obviously on some kind of digital connection. And then I'm gotta say, I just recently got into DMR with the 878 UV 123 ABCD radio. And it's been a lot of fun. It's kind of, you got to have a good connection. And some stuff can go really weird, really fast, but it's been a lot of fun. I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. And it's kind of cool to put it on like a world, Brandmeister. I'm on Brandmeister a lot. Put it on the world, what do you call it, Nick?
Worldwide.
Worldwide, but a node, or not node.
Private call?
No. Talk group.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of cool to hear the conversations back and forth. You got guys from the Netherlands talking to guys in Brazil. You got guys in New York talking to guys in, Australia. Yeah. It's pretty cool just to have it. I like listening to it while I'm at work. So I just thought I'd point that out. Anyone who's thinking about going DMR, I suggest you do it, because I didn't like DMR at first, just off of just like, people are making contacts all over the world and counting it. Doesn't really count, quote unquote. It doesn't matter. It's really cool, and there's a lot of things you can do with it.
No, I completely agree. I appreciate you chiming in on that, Vondo, because the reality of it is there's none of us here counting anything. We don't really care. We just want to talk to people and have a good time, and that's what it's really all about, right? And so, like with that station, for instance, who didn't make it in, I guarantee there's some really frustrated person at the other end of a radio right now that may just be setting it up, because DMR is not, Aaron said it perfectly earlier when he was talking about FT8, setting it up, especially like with a Mac. I don't use a Mac, but I can understand the frustration because I hate iPhones. So the whole issue is, yeah, I know, right? It's not intuitive. It's just not intuitive. It's not something you just pull out of the box, throw the instructions in the dumpster, and get to work, right? It takes effort. And so there's somebody there that's like, oh, I want to check in, but I cannot figure out how to make this work. Or every time I talk, my bit error rate's through the roof, or, something's causing a problem. And it takes time to figure it out. If it wasn't for people like, Connor and Mike and, just all of the people around me that have done all these things to help me learn, I would not be able to do any of this stuff. Right. And I think most of us could say the same thing about different groups of people in our life. So, people like Aaron, thank you for paying that stuff forward. That's what keeps this place alive, And so, yeah, sometimes you'll get check-ins that are terrible, that don't make it, but eventually they'll make it in, and then they'll be happy that they did. So cool stuff. Let's see if we got anybody else out there before we jump over to our Zoom chat. So, any other check-ins for the Antinet? Come on in now.
That station was analog, by the way, Nick. He was analog, not digital.
See, it sounded digital.
It sounded
No,
digital.
It was
KN6MED.
Was it KM6MPZ?
MDD. Mike Delta Delta.
Yeah.
KM6MDD. How you doing tonight?
Doing great, everyone. Thanks for letting me check in. This is my first check-in to the net. Sorry I didn't get in earlier on the invitation. I've been listening all along, but had a bunch of people in the room and a lot going on. So I was hoping I could wait for a little bit longer, but excited to get checked into the net. I've been on the website and lurking around, and this is the first opportunity that I've had to check in. Newer ham. Had my ticket for a little over a year, I think. Just upgraded last month to general, and so I'm looking to get into some HF. Still working on getting an antenna and getting things kind of set up. I got the general qualification sooner than I was ready with my station and everything else, so kind of waging my way into that, and just excited to be part of the hobby, and really interested in what you guys are doing with the Antinet.
Hey, I appreciate that, and I'm glad you were able to make it in tonight. I didn't catch your first name, but I do have your call sign written down here. Hopefully, you can join our Discord group. There's a ton of people from all over the place that are really active in conversations and networking, especially when it comes to like getting on HF and different stuff like that. So you found the right place. If you want to come back with your name, just so I can write it down, and I definitely appreciate you coming in tonight.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention that. Name is Dave here, D-A-V-E, and I'm actually on my open spot 3 right now, which I've kind of really been digging into and trying to make it work right. It seems like I've got it going pretty well on everything except for connecting to my iPhone as a hotspot. That seems to be a bit tricky, and I think it's more of an iPhone issue than anything else because it connects about seamlessly everywhere else and only connects once in a while when it feels like it to my iPhone. So definitely more of an iPhone issue, but I've got the internet on my calendar every Wednesday night going forward. So looking forward to being part as often as I can, and just excited to listen to everything else that's going on there and hear what you guys have to say. A little bit different net than most of the rest of the ones out there, so thank you.
Well, Dave, I appreciate you coming in, and keep in mind you're always welcome to join our Zoom chat after we break off of the radio portion. So if you want to put a name to some of the faces and say hi, you're welcome to do that. Servando, if you raise your hand one more time without just talking, I swear I'm going to come down to California. K6SRV is insistent on treating this like a 5th grade math class. Servando, take it away.
K6SRV. Hey, Dave, thanks for checking in. It's funny you mentioned about the open spot. I too have an open spot, and I was so frustrated because when I got that was the one thing that I thought. It's like, oh, I have an open spot. I can just pair it to my phone and screw everything else. I can be on radio all the time, and I was so disappointed. I also have the same issue connecting to my phone. Unless I have 5G, like full bars, it's really touchy on that. So, and then also congratulations on the general upgrade. You're gonna have tons of fun on HF, man. There is so much antennas, SWR. I mean, just it really opens up a whole nother world for you. I don't know if you've already looked into it, but like POTA and SOTA, hopefully you've heard of those two. K6ARK is the SOTA master. It's really a lot of fun. I really highly recommend you check that out so that when you get up and running, it's something that's really fun to do.
Yeah, thanks, Servando. Nick KN60AL. Yeah, I'll mirror that. There's nothing better than taking this hobby out in the field, man. It's so much fun. But I hope, Dave, that you can join our Zoom and chat with us for a little bit. Let's see if we've got any other stations out there. We've got Matt in YouTube. I'll just comment on your chat comment that you made. It's actually DMR Talk Group 3174117. And what time slot and color code. So yeah, it looks like Connor talked to you. If you want to join Zoom, we can try to get you squared up with that, because there's the things that you're looking at are kind of contingent on some other things. So KN60AL here. Any other check-ins want to come into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net? Come on in now.
I want to comment on that via the YouTube here, so if no one comes back, I'm going to comment on his message.
Kilo India 5, Romeo, Foxtrot, India. Kilo India 5, Romeo, Foxtrot, India, Mac in Springdale, Arkansas, over.
Coming in 5-9.
Hey Mac, you sound great. Yeah, we were all just kind of listening, going, man, that your audio sounds really good tonight. Thanks for checking in. How you doing tonight?
Doing great here in the great state of Arkansas. Just had a fun day, kind of staying out of the cold for the most part. We can't decide whether we're fall or winter over here. So it's one day it's fall, the next day it's winter. Just wanted to check in and say hello to everybody there, and I'll turn it back to you. Over.
Hey, I appreciate you checking in with us. I think it was KI5 RFI, Mac in Arkansas. I appreciate that. Any other stations out there want to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net? Come on in now.
Let me know when you're ready.
November 9, November Juliet Sierra.
All right, N9NJS. What's your name and how are you doing tonight?
Okay. My name here is Lee. I'm Echo, located in northern Illinois. Just been here listening for a little bit. I would give you at least one check-in, at least from Illinois. Go ahead.
Oh, hey, VVR shut up. Oh, no, that wasn't VVR. That was something else. KN6DAL from Lee, N9NJS. Yeah, you sound great coming out of Illinois. I don't know if we've had a Illinois station check in. If it was, it would have been last year sometime. But yeah, I appreciate you checking in tonight. Hope everything's going there. It's got to be it's 8:50 here, so 9:50, 10:50. It's like 11. It's almost midnight there. So we got some people staying up late to hang out with us. We appreciate it. So. Thank you for the check-in, and let's see who else we got out there. KN6DAL to anybody out that wants to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, come on in now. We can't see that, Servant.
I know, dude. I'm trying to show you. Dave, KN6MEB just joined the server.
Oh, cool.
So that was kind of cool.
Hey.
Yeah.
Kilo India 5 Sierra Oscar Golf, named Dale.
A lot of D's tonight.
Yeah. All right, we got another KI5 station there. Dale, how you doing tonight? And I'm not going to assume you're in Arkansas, but it's a very similar call sign. So I'm curious where you're located and how you're coming in tonight and how your evening's going.
Yes, sir. KI5SOG, coming to you from the Panhandle of Texas. It was a pretty decent night tonight. I don't know what temperature is right off. It seems like it ought to be in the 50s, and we got a 75-degree day coming tomorrow, what they say, but Friday the winds are supposed to kick up for us, and we're going to have to carry around some big rocks to fight those 50 and 60-mile-an-hour gusts. It's been a pretty decent day here today. We was getting up close to 70 today, and took the time to get some of the decorating done on our Christmas tree. We put it up yesterday and getting some decorations on it today, ornaments and such. And we just take our time with it just to put some on it. Every day for maybe a few days before we get it done. But we're in no hurry. And I got a chance to look up and see the International Space Station go over tonight. Hadn't seen that for a while. Pretty much come right over top of us tonight. And just hanging out, listening to what's going on out there in the amateur world, out on the internet. So I'll turn it back on over to you and let somebody else have the wheel. It's KI5SOG, and back to net control.
All right. Hey, thanks, Dale. I appreciate it. Yeah. One of the unique things about what we have going on here is we've got digital connections, analog connections, and we've probably got, I haven't pulled up the bubble chart in a while, but we probably have over 100 different digital and analog connections going on tonight all over the world. So a ton over in the United Kingdom, up in Canada, different Allstar links over on the East Coast, and then many over here on the West Coast. So you're definitely getting out there tonight. I appreciate the check-in. Let all your friends know that we're here every Wednesday, and hopefully you'll check back in with us. So I appreciate it. This is Nick, KN6DAL with the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net. Let's see who else we got out there. Any and all check-ins, come on in now.
Come on, Nick. Did you read what I said in
I-
chat? Read the
Yeah,
letters.
I read it. I can't.
Dude, that bear, dude. The
Read my
bear.
latest.
This is KE0HOL, Matt in Kansas.
All right, KG0HOL, and I think it was Matt. Is that MATT, or it might have been Mac? But I appreciate you checking in. How's your night going, and what are your plans with radio? We totally left Kellen in the waiting room.
Yeah, it's Matt, MATT, and the call is Kilo Echo Zero Hotel Oscar Lima. Just was getting into DMR a little bit with this DroidStar app. I don't have a radio that will do digital modes. This is nice to listen to some of it and participate a little bit too.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're coming in good, and you sound great. Are you the same Matt that had? I'm assuming you're probably the same guy that had texted on YouTube. So hopefully that's you, and you got the connection squared away. Come on back. Hi, Kellen.
Yes, that was me on YouTube. I added that 7 to the end of the talk group ID, and that made it work.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad you were able to make that connection happen. We do have a anti-net where we kind of dedicated it to going through DroidStar, the ins and outs of some different programming capabilities of that particular software. And for those of you out there listening, that platform's available on Android and iPhone under different names, but also for the computer too. So if you don't have a radio that's capable of doing a DMR connection, you can connect that way. So Matt, I appreciate you connecting with us, and you're definitely welcome on Zoom. There's some links in the chat on YouTube to join our Zoom call. If anybody wants to join, you're always welcome in, and we'll be carrying it on for a little bit tonight. So appreciate the check-in. Who else we got out there? Any in all stations? Come on in now.
N1 UKJ Zoom question.
Dan, yeah, go ahead with your Zoom question.
Oh, I thought you were just still taking seconds. I'm pretty much familiar with the Zoom. I haven't used it for well, the last time I used it was this time last year, so anyway, go ahead. Didn't mean to butt in that way. And 6 POE. You know, if you have it.
What just happened?
I have no idea. Hey, yeah, once you get Zoom pulled up, you can actually just click on the link, and if you have it on your computer or phone or whatever, it should take you right there, and you should be able to join in. So we'll be watching the waiting room, and getting you in there if you get on. So I appreciate that. Who else do we got out there? Any and all check-ins. We're about to wrap it up here. We're coming across 9 o'clock. So last call for check-ins. Anybody that wants to check into the 2 Meter Crew Anti-Net, come on in now.
There was 2 stations. There was Steve and then that other RF station.
Okay.
And Steve got on top of him. So.
Okay.
I'm pulling a 3D prints off the printer, so I'm gonna be right.
All right, nothing being heard. We're going to go ahead and call it for the RF portion and the digital connection portion of tonight. And we'll be hanging out on Zoom for a little bit. Actually, before we go, do you want to check in on anything, Kellen? You got anything to say? Nod up, down, yes, no? Kellen's going to be quiet. That's a first. All right, KN60AL. Appreciate everybody coming out tonight. Had a ton of check-ins from all over the place. So it's always definitely fun to hear new people. You're always welcome. Again, we're live at 3 a.m. UTC on Thursday, which is 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every Wednesday night. right here on YouTube on Northwest Ham Shack, and also coming through all our digital connections. So thanks so much for all the owners and supporters of the radios and the repeaters and all of the digital connections. Big thanks, and I hope you guys will have a good night. 7-3, and we'll see you over on Zoom.
Hey, Kellen, good to see you, Kellen.
Yeah, what's up, Kellen?
Yeah,
Yeah,
good
Kellen.
to see you, gentlemen.
Like you look like you're gonna mug someone, dude. What's up, man? How you been, dude?
Just working, doing some lots of side work, and then in between trying to fit in some Jeep suspension. I've almost got that my birthday present ready for some drive lines and ready to drive.
There you go.
Dude,
Found
leave it to Kellen for his birthday present to have some assembly required.
Yeah, rework of all suspension.
Everything.
Yeah, I couldn't do leaf springs, had to go all out. Yep, it's got to be 4-link, or it ain't it. Maybe I'll bring it to field day and I'll put a HF antenna on it, little CB, not a CB, but a little ham stick on the top.
Heck yeah, dude.
No, we should show the picture of Kellen climbing the tower at field day in his like
Slippers.
night slippers.
I know. We just need to go through the whole field day thing.
But they were Milwaukee slippers, so I mean those are work slippers.
Were they really Milwaukee slippers, dude?
Yeah, I got them on right now.
Oh my god, dude!
Can you guys still see it?
Look.
Oh my
Let me see if I can
god!
fit this in there.
I see it.
He's got the moccasins, dude. He's got the Jesus slippers. Oh my god, they really
Can you
are.
see it? They're Red Wings.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, they're sheepskin or sheep or
Oh my.
whatever you want to call it.
Before
They're
I
sheepskin
forgot,
outers.
I just wanted to share this picture with everybody because we were talking about it earlier, and this was the sad day. I know there's a smile on Dan's face, but I can assure you he was not happy right there. So I don't know how he did that.
That was a forced smile, dude.
That was a forced smile. Yeah. It's like an instant reaction when you see a camera. You smile for the camera, right? But in his heart, there's tears behind those glasses. There had to be.
As soon as I took that photo, that smile went away.
It was a stage of denial. That's what that was.
I say it looks like a city councilman holding a shovel for breaking ground.
Yes, that's exactly what it looks
I'm
like.
that kind of person.
Kellen said something about ham and harder, and Dan was like, I want a ham harder. And then he snapped the DX Commander over his leg and held it up over his head. Then he's like, oh no, what did I do?
He said, hold my beer.
You didn't see how tight my straps were? You left yours all loose and goose.
Yeah. You've seen me try to tie knots, Kellen. It's not there.
You need some anchors like I had.
If you don't know how to tie a knot, tie a lot.
That's right. That's right.
You need some 24-inch earth anchors. That'll hold it down.
Dude, Kellen went
Those were cool.
extra, dude. Those were awesome, dude. But hey, Kellen, but seriously, remind us again, how much were those per anchor?
Oh,
40?
Like 25 a piece,
25.
30 a piece.
And he had 80 of them, dude, holding that tower together.
I had four of them. But, that's one thing I didn't want to be known for was, dropping a tower in the middle of field day,
Yeah, fiberglass mass is more forgivable.
I don't want to be Dan and drop a whole tower.
Jason K6 FAK made the chat as well. This is a picture from field day.
He was posing for the photo on that one.
Yeah, this is him.
He was FT8 all day.
Yeah, This is him working FT8.
On his microphone?
Hey, man, it looks good
I
in the
just saw
photo.
it, Aaron.
Dude, I love Jason, man. He had the setup that day. What's going on,
Winterfield
Adam?
Day, we'll have to set up that umbrella that he had on top of my tower.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what's new, Adam? You're always up to some crazy cool stuff.
Yeah, well, like I said, just got home from the mountain rescue meeting. I've been working on some projects. I've got my antenna kits are this close to being on Amazon for sale. I got 350 or so put together, and I had them all labeled. And then as I'm jumping through all the Amazon hoops to get shit onto their website, I learned that to use a UPC code barcode, you have to be an official brand that's like sort of registered through them. So all the labels that I put on all those are no longer useful. So order new labels and put the Amazon barcode on them. But
All your stuff is QRP, isn't it?
Yeah, I've made some versions that can handle a bit more, 20, 30, 40 watts. And I'll probably end up putting some kits together for those at some point because there's kind of like an ideal G90 and KX3 setup with a slightly larger toroid that works really well with a random wire. So yeah, the kits are going to be up soon, and then I've been working on a new antenna winder because it's really hard to find winders that are just the right size. I've had these older ones that I cut a bunch of holes in that I was getting from this kite company, and they're discontinued, and they're slightly too small for 67 feet of polystealth 26 gauge, which is what I like to use for a QRP antenna. So
that's nice.
I designed this to fit 67 feet of polystealth perfectly and not fall off. Put a little Velcro strap on it. This is a 40 meter end-fed half wave that'll do 20, 15, and 10 meters as well. And I designed it so it's shorter than the length of a KX2 this way. It's shorter than the height of a KX2 this way, and it's relatively thin, so it packs easily along with your radio kit. So I've been searching for I've been searching for a manufacturing solution for these, and I've been looking into injection molding. And what I'm finding is that injection molds themselves are very expensive to manufacture. Like the cheapest ones. Cheapest quotes I've been able to get are like $3,800 just for the mold. So I'd have to get these to make it a reasonable price, and that's not going to happen. So instead, I ordered myself a 3D printer, and I'm going to start 3D printing these things. So,
do you know the timeline that it takes to make those in 3D print?
I don't know exactly, but I ordered one with a large enough bed that I can print 16 in a run. So I can hopefully set it and forget it. And, I'm going to have them print sequentially. So if one goes awry, it doesn't, hopefully the ones before it will survive. But I'm hoping that'll work well enough for me.
Hey, well, how far we've come, right? Remember when we were kids, we were setting and forgetting Napster and all these like LimeWire and everything coming back from school, and now we're setting and forgetting 3D printers.
Oh yeah, and you get this, you're done.
Did you draw that in CAD yourself in a CAD program?
Yeah. So I haven't touched CAD software in probably close to 20 years. I'm an engineer by degree, and I did some CAD in school, but pretty much haven't used CAD in any of my career. But I at least understand engineering drawings and how to make drawings. So there was a little bit of a learning curve refiguring out how to use now Fusion 360. But it actually wasn't too bad. It was pretty easy to come up with this. I don't know how well you can see it, but I've got basically a 2 millimeter thick web in the middle here, and then 4 millimeter round around the edges. I'm actually gonna, on the final version, I'm gonna ditch this notch here. I made a hole here and a notch here for a bungee cord, kind of like this style, as a keeper for the wire. But I much prefer this Velcro strap and just wrap it around the wire and hook it up that way. So I'm gonna stick with that and dump the notch for stability.
I'm curious about a couple things. So I haven't messed with designing a kite string winder, but I have printed a few of them, and I would just resize them because you're absolutely right. So like this is actually your antenna, so here's your plug. But this is Adam's antenna, and this is a 49-to-1 in-fed half wave. for 40 meters. Yes, for
Is
40.
that the one you had for field day?
Yes. And so
Oh, okay.
so this
I thought you made that little thing.
I did but I made it with a kit from him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
So that was going to be my question. Is the antenna that you're selling going to be the kit, or are you actually selling just the antenna itself ready to go?
So I'm selling the kits. I have a regular job and I don't have time to build a ton of these things. If you want to see more info, go to k6ark.com. You can find more info there, but it comes in this cute little plastic bag and it's got 11 things in it. It's got the BNC connector, the PCB that makes the build easier. I don't know if you can see it there. The FT5043 toroid, and then 3 pieces of heat shrink, section of magnet wire, a short length of polystealth antenna wire for kind of the wire stubs that you're going to put on the matching unit to attach the rest of your wire to. It's got a tiny little surface mount, 100 picofarad capacitor, and then of course the K6ARK sticker in there as well, because you got to have that. And one more thing, it's got about a 3/4 inch length of black plastic drip line, which I added to the kits now, because I found that for the 40 meter end fed half wave, you to get it resonant on 20, 15, and 10 as well, it helps to add a small loading coil of about 10 to 12 turns, about 5 to 6 feet from the feed point. If you don't do that, when it's resonant on 40 meters, it's actually just above the band on 20, 15, and 10. And it's you're not going to quite get as good a SWR on those bands. So that loading coil works wonders on that to bring in those other bands.
That's awesome,
cool,
man.
So when are you thinking those are going to go live on Amazon?
Tomorrow.
That's a good question. So once I just the new blank labels arrived today, so I need to have time to print those, apply them to all the little packages, and then get stuff shipped to Amazon. And then since I've never done it before, I don't know how long that takes or what other hoops I might have to jump through before they're actually up on there. But if you guys or I guess anyone watching really wants one now, get in touch with me directly. Just look up my email on QRZ, and I've been selling them pre-sale for a cheaper price than they're going to be on Amazon. So connect with me direct, and I'll get some out to you.
Awesome. Well, that's cool, Adam.
Those
Yeah.
are
So
rated for what,
there's 17,000 people watching live right now. So to all of those people out there, definitely look up Adam K6ARK or K6ARK.com. Super cool antenna setups. It's always fun to see the stuff you're coming up with, man. And I remember when I very first started building antennas, I saw you like that one end where you're building the first kind of prototype of this, right? And I'm just like, my jaw drops, right? And so there's 2 websites in there, and I don't remember what they are, but they teach you how to wrap your toroid and what to use, and it calculates everything for you. And you can use these 2 websites to really understand, like, for what band you're going to run on, how to make the toroid work. So I check that video out. It's just super cool. There's a ton of info, and I spent hours going through like different setups depending on the type of toroid that you're using. You can even input different ferrite cores in there and see what will work if you're making traps and stuff like that. So pretty neat. That's awesome, man.
Oh, there's more. So
just Billy Mays
there's
does.
more.
Well, one of the other fun little projects I've been working on is this little guy. Hopefully you can at least somewhat. It is a capacitive touch key that plugs straight into the front of an Elecraft KX2 or KX3.
I want it now.
It's got a little thumb.
He's a witch.
I'm gonna grab it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get it.
It's pretty cool. It's a fun little device. I've got one on a KX2 right here. and it actually works pretty well. It's pretty easy to use. The spacing, between your dit and dah is a bit smaller than maybe most people are used to. But yeah, here we go.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah,
Super
just
cool.
screws right onto the nice and small, compact.
Yeah.
I just leave it on there in my case, and it works pretty well.
That's awesome. Are you still using that?
Yeah.
Was it a Kelty case that you had last time when you posted a video?
Yeah,
Still the same
same
thing?
case.
Yeah, okay.
It bulges a little on the front now.
Yeah.
It might be happy to see me, but that's the key sticking out there.
Yeah. I've got a soft shell case kind of like that, but I don't even remember what this is, but a long time ago there was an electronic device of some kind called a MyTouch. I think it was like an old school phone. And that case happened to be like almost exactly like what that case is. The KX2, I have just a little button keyer, just a little just a little single keyer, and an antenna. A 9-to-1, one of your antennas in a 9-to-1 configuration, and then a pair of headphones, and a little microphone, and it all fits right in there. And I literally carry it in a backpack everywhere I go. I can be on the air in under 2 minutes. Just throw it out there, ready to go.
Yeah, I've got the antenna right in the lid there. It just hangs out in the lid, and I've got earbuds tucked in there as well. So it's got all I need, and I'll throw in a mini microphone occasionally, but I don't do much sideband on it. And if I need to chase someone summit to summit or something, I'll just use the mic in the unit, and it works well enough.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had pretty good luck with the mic in the unit.
Yeah, no, it works well. I actually made a little headset too, a little folding headset. I took, the old cell phones that had the 2.5 millimeter jack for like an earpiece and headset mic thing. Yeah. I took one of those old mics, and it folds up pretty small, but opens up and has like a single earpiece and then a little boom mic. And I put a wind muff on it, like a Dead Cat style wind muff on it. And I just built an adapter that went from that 2.5 millimeter jack to the two plugs on the KX2. And the damn thing works great. It has excellent audio, and I just set it to Vox and talk away on sideband. It's a pretty handy setup.
That's cool.
Dude, headset's the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
It's so convenient.
Yep. Yeah, so the last piece of the kit that I'm sourcing is wire to put on these things, because I'd really like to sell the winder with some wire on it. So I'm sourcing some Teflon coated probably 26 gauge wire from China. That's pretty dang cheap, and I'll put 70 or so feet on one of these guys. So if you don't want to use polystealth or don't have a winder already, it's a quick, easy way to finish out what you need to build the kit into a full antenna.
That's cool. I'm curious, Kellen, what are you doing for a radio in your Jeep that you're building?
I haven't quite decided as far as radio in the rig yet. I've been mulling over different ideas. I do want to do a Rugged Radio's intercom system for 4 passengers between the wife and kids, just because it gets so drowning out with a V8 idling over time, on a trail or something. But I have thought about doing a Anytone tri-bander. So the 2 meter, 1 1/4, and the 70 centimeter.
578 or whatever.
578, I think
yeah.
it is. Yeah.
The 578 UV Pro 3, something like that. So I've been looking at that one for a minute. But other than that, there's no real, only because it has the 220 feature on it, and I have 220 here at the house.
Mhm.
So if something does come up, I mean, there's a handful of old school 220 guys that are sitting on the calling frequency.
Yeah.
So at least I know that those guys are on all the time, regardless of the traditional 2 meter, 77 meter
Right.
guys.
Just one more avenue of
Yeah,
communication.
it's just an extra thing that I can throw into a small package.
Yeah.
Hey,
I have a
so-
friend that has that. He really likes that radio.
Okay.
So
it was that in the
the
Baofeng 25 by 4 or 25 by 3 or something like that. But it only had like 5 watts on 220, which, you know, if I have to put an amplifier on it to get more than 10 watts, you know, it's not for me.
Right. We know.
I was just listening to someone on the repeater talk about how there's not enough like 220 activity, and
Yeah.
I think Bert's in the waiting room. And I guess they were saying there's like not a lot of radios offer 220, so maybe that's why people aren't on 220. And I guess I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. You know, that makes sense.
It's true. Like 220 is kind of like a dying breed. And so once I paid for my my QYT, was it 9000D, at just a 220 only, and then I got a a good deal on an amplifier, and so that runs in the shack all the time, 24/7. Like I run that nonstop, don't even turn it off. But my my 2 meter, if I want to turn it on, then I have to physically turn it on, or my 70 centimeter, turn it on channel. But yeah, if you want to hear just random people keying in on 220, it's on all the time. So, but there's always, I can probably call out on 220 and know that there's, some old timer that just leaves it on. Where 220, most people just turn the squelch up and just kind of wait for some powering station to come through. It's like, I know that 220, I leave my squelch at like number 1 out of 20, just barely enough so it doesn't have any, white noise. But I mean, I hear anybody and everybody that comes on from, Chico to San Jose. So it works pretty good. It sounds nice. So I'm surprised more people don't use it. I think it's just a factor of, like I said, if you want a 220 radio, you have to buy specifically like a 220 rig, or you have to buy the
Dedicated rig,
tri-bander. Yeah, it's like my TS2000 doesn't do it, so I had to buy a transceiver that would do it. But that thing only does 10 watts out. So, then I got to run an amplifier out of it to get, 100 watts out of the tower or something.
Yeah, the tri-banders always neuter the 220, right? Like severely.
Yeah. Yeah, I think the UV5 or the 578 Pro, I think that one only does either
10 watts?
5 or 20 watts. It's pretty low. It's not much at all. It's almost like a little bit better than a handheld.
You out of here, Connor?
5 watts.
5 watts. Connor's connected into all things digital.
220. I haven't messed with the radio. I've got a.
I don't know
a friend
how
of
long
mine who
these people
has
are
it.
waiting.
Oh, poor people. But no, I believe it's 5 watts. I don't even know if it's 10 watts. And I don't think it has its. Well, I know in the 578 it has its own PA, but I'm not sure why they can't produce a 25 watt output power. It's just kind of a little odd to me, so who knows?
It's Aquaman Bert.
What up?
Yeah.
What's up, man? What's up with the Dolphins, man?
I don't know.
How long did I leave you in the waiting room this time?
How long ago was that? I don't know. 10?
My good, you
Wow,
guys
dude.
post something on
30.
YouTube.
Dude.
I did.
Man.
I did. And I see
David,
Connor post
David.
the thing to the link to the Zoom right after.
David, how long did you wait, David?
Since shortly after the anti-net ended.
Oh my goodness,
Oh
you
my
guys.
goodness, dude.
Oh, no.
He's been waiting for
Nick,
45
get on your
minutes.
game,
Dude.
bro.
This is Connor's fault.
Nick's
It's
fault.
100.
Hey,
Connor's
hey,
co-host.
No, I'm not. That's Cap. I am not co-host. Don't even put this on me. Just because you have issues trying to pay attention to 4 different things at once.
There's more
Hey,
than 4
David,
things going on
what
here.
tower is
Well,
that?
let me do the Zoom then. I'll manage the Zoom, and you can just do the pretty boy show stuff on YouTube.
David,
Hey.
where's that tower location at?
Yeah. Is it California?
That's it's definitely in California. It's above Bridgeport.
Have you
I
been
think.
there, or is that just
Oh,
for your Google
Bridgeport.
image?
That's
I know
me.
that.
Well, that's my truck right there, and
Oh, okay.
that tower is on top of a hill. It's kind of above Bridgeport to the east.
Yep,
Yeah.
I've activated the summit.
We went up the hard way. I didn't realize there was an easier road, and my truck's kind of pointed right down the steep road that we came up.
I'm surprised that truck made it up there.
It's called Masonic.
Hey, David, you'll have to excuse Kellen. He looks down upon anything that's not V8 short wheelbase, aka Jeep.
You know, long travel. You know, that's just.
If it ain't a Jeep, it's a heap.
Yeah, that's okay. I'll take that and challenge.
Hey, David, I have it worse. I drive a Toyota, so
That's the worst.
Nobody
wants a Toyota.
Kellen, man, he's like allergic to it, man. He won't even stand next to the damn thing.
Yeah, it's a bad case of the rash, man.
I got an F-150 too, so it's all good.
It does have front and rear lockers and a lot of other stuff you can't see from here, so it's kind of sneaky.
No, it looks nice.
Is it a Raptor?
No.
Okay.
But it has a full king setup suspension.
Nice.
The stock Raptors of the same vintage, I easily keep up with and sometimes outpace.
Dude, you said King.
I'm always
Say
knocking
no
on
more.
the guy with the Raptors. I'm always knocking on him. I'm like, yeah, you overpaid for a shock that's half the size. You just don't know it.
I know, man.
Yeah. The one big advantage that I have over the Raptors, width becomes an issue, but the other thing is ground clearance. Okay, so you have a fancy factory suspension, but you can't get over anything, and they get in the rocks, and it gets very stressful for them very quickly. And
It's like a tortoise.
Yeah. Glide right through things that they would get hung up on. So fun stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
Very cool.
Hey, Dan, so just so everyone knows, full disclosure, I kind of like creeped up on Dan one day, his house, and I did notice your antenna. I was like, I was looking for the address because I've never been to your house, and I knew exactly which house was yours.
Oh, the dipole?
Yes. Dude, how well does that thing work out? Can you like explain to them what it looks like or what it is? Because I'm curious on how well it works.
I mean, it's gotten me as far as the Russian Eastern Seaboard. Well, on receive. I do a lot of Canadian operating with Western Canada. But anyway, the ridge of the house is a 2-story. It's 33 feet long, 35 feet long. So I've got just a piece of electrical wire. I think it's like 14 gauge, whatever you use in your kitchen or something. Hooked up to 2 opposing satellite dish brackets that are bolted to the fascia of the house.
That was slick. I like it.
Thank you. Yeah, this is crap I had laying around.
Dude, it was slick.
But the problem is, and I don't know if this is a concern, but the actual element is only 12 inches off of the ridge line. It's comp shingle. I don't know if it causes an issue with radiation or not. I'd like it to be higher. It's not even at that, 1/3 wavelength elevation required off the ground. Yeah, it's technically not there, but it got me by. I mean, that's the only HF antenna I had for a year, so I only had 20 meters. Now I've got a Hustler 5-band vertical in the backyard to get on 40. And
20 meters is all you need, Dan.
I got some 1.25 EMT. We can slide right into those brackets, and we can make that thing at least 10 feet taller.
Dude, see, Kellen knows. Kellen knows the dimensions and everything. He said it'll slide right in there, give you that height.
I need to reinforce
I got my weather station mounted.
The fascia's kind of, I need to reinforce the fascia or snap. I don't know. It'll probably be fine.
A tower works too.
I'm harder.
I know. I'm taking a second.
I know a guy.
I know a guy. I know. But I just dropped 10K in the backyard, so I'm broke. So I got to save more money up.
You better pick it up.
I'm starting my own independent drafting business. Actually, I'll be working for my old employer again. On the
are
side.
you really?
Yep. They called me. So
they finally called.
Only took 2 months.
But you're saying there's a chance. Hey, I just remember talking to Kellen when I was like a baby ham. This was maybe like a few weeks ago.
You were a ham before I was.
Yeah.
And
You're
I
an
just
Elmer
remember
now, Kellen.
No, yeah, you are. And I remember Kellen, like he just said, like it was like Charlie Brown. It's just like wah, 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 wah. And then he said height is might, and I've never forgot that. I know he's not the first person to say that. I know it's a common term, but Jesus, man, it kind of screwed everything up for me because every time I put up an antenna, I was like, it's not tall enough, it's not high enough. What would Kellen say right now? Height is might.
Crank it up.
Kills
Crank
me.
it up.
It kills me. Everything is NVIS at this house.
Yeah.
Jesus. And you and I
That's
can
how
have
my
a
40 and 80
conversation.
is.
Let them sleep.
I know. NFed half waves are like all the rage right now.
Well,
What's the next thing?
On 160 loop.
Dude, and I've been looking at mag loops. I mean, raise your hand if you have a mag loop. I mean, I mag loops, dude. They're see, I knew Adam was gonna have one, but like they're really interesting because the reason what interests me about mag loops is having like ears, like having like a receive only mag loop. They're cheaper, but I got to see how to even configure that at the house. I'd have to have it on a switch and everything. But dude, if you look at the videos out there, I mean, it's really nice to have a mag loop in like a high noise
Doesn't
area.
your 7300 have a receive only port? My TS2000 does.
Is that you dissing ICOM and pushing Kenwood? Yeah.
JBL.
No,
JBL. All the way.
it's only one. It's only one. Hey, I will tell you though, the ICOM, you will like the audio better than the Yaesu. It's not as tinny as the Yaesu.
I think that's part of a fault of the that smaller mobile frame. You can only fit so many audio components in a
I love that.
set of-
That 991 is so nice. I'm gonna put that in my truck now with the ham sticks. Man, it's money, nothing but money, dude. David, what's up?
You guys got anything to add before? I'm gonna shut the stream down, but we'll keep Zoom going for a little bit. Anything?
Peace, love, and boba.
Peace, love, and ham radio. All right, we'll see everybody next week. That link is posted if anybody wants to jump in the chat, and I appreciate everybody coming out tonight. 7-3.
We need an outro music, dude.